I had a wee bit of a kind of misspent youth, kind of got involved with drugs, kind of got caught importing drugs into New Zealand, and that was kind of the catalyst for change for me. I had kind of dropped out of kind of school, worked in McDonald's with a couple of kind of dead-end jobs and stuff, and then kind of started to sell drugs and stuff, and then that just kind of snowballed into that's what I was doing all the time. Started smoking a bit of dope, and then it just kind of progressed from there onto other drugs and different stuff. And I think that's kind of many a young person is like that, you know, and they just kind of lose their way, and some just go deeper than others. Came back to Scotland, it was the early 2000s, and it was really just the height of the heroin epidemic and stuff. I went and visited friends that I used to hang about with, and it was the same people sitting in the same place, taking the same drugs. The only difference was they were playing a PlayStation 2 rather than a PlayStation 1, you know, and I'll be honest with you, that really kind of freaked my life a bit, to realise that actually how easy is it for people just to get lost and get stuck in this kind of cycle of life, you know, of taking drugs and no progressing and no developing and no growing. All the cards were stacked against me at that point, you know, and I think for that you've really got a decision to make. Are you going to make a way of it? You're going to kind of seize the opportunities. If you're working for yourself, then basically you have got that place of taking control. It's basically on you, you know, to really go out and make it work, you know, and you can't blame anybody else if it fails or there's challenges or struggles. You need to kind of come up with creative, you know, solutions to problems, to be honest with you, you know, and I suppose that's what I would say one of my kind of attributes and keys are, that I'm a good problem solver. Even your past can actually be something that was negative, you can turn it into a positive, and that's certainly what I've been able to do with my life. Whatever you do in business, you know, you need to sell, you know, and same way if you're selling drugs, you need to sell, you know, because if you can't sell, you can't do anything. Being free isn't about being in or out of prison or on or off drugs, you know. For me, the greatest freedom for me wasn't no going to prison or no being on drugs, you know. For me, the greatest freedom is being free in your heart and free in your soul, because people can be living in a big fancy house. I know some really wealthy people, but they're not free, do you know what I mean? It's like they're bound to other things. Yeah, they're maybe not in prison or they're maybe not on drugs, you know, but freedom is actually about being free in your soul. You know, there can be people incarcerated or people in a life sentence that actually are the freest people I know, because they found that freedom is about being free inside and not really so much to do with our surroundings or our circumstances. Being successful doesn't depend on your education, it doesn't depend on the family you're brought up on. Many times these things can give you opportunities and give you privilege and get you further maybe on the journey, but the reality of it is it's within each one of us, and it's really having that belief and really that sort of situation to say, I'm going to step out and I'm going to have a go, you know, and that's what I would always say, you know, life is a journey, business is a journey, and it's all about taking one step at a time, you know, and it's like that kind of comment about how do you climb a mountain, you know, it's one step at a time. There's lots of kind of little personal goals that I have. We want to get to £5 million turnover in the business. I'd like to buy a Bentley car, you know, and these are all wee tangible things that you can get. My big goal is to give £1 million to charity in a one-off thing. I started with nothing, so if I end with nothing, it doesn't really matter as long as you've kind of fun along the way, you know, and I think so many people are fixated with a thing rather than actually enjoying the season of life or the journey of life that they're on. So many people are crippled with fear that actually it hinders them from stepping out and going after their dreams and doing stuff, you know, and I would say I'd much rather fail trying than not to try at all, you know, and I think that's probably a mindset that I've allowed to develop me and allows me to live the way that I live. There is a different life for just living in the scheme and taking drugs, you know, and that's certainly something I wouldn't change this life. Yeah, there is ups and there is downs, you know, but it's been the best life ever, and I would really, that's why I live the way that I live, and hopefully try and encourage others to say that there is a different way, and it's by far the best way. It's not always the easiest way, but definitely for me personally, it's been the best way for sure.